wanted to be able to. The story's kind of busy.
Very different than what most people
do.
Hey! Okay, relax. Third time I'm making this video. It was supposed to be called New Year, New Me. It's March. The first 2 times I filmed this video, I got it into the editing room and I was in no way happy with how it was produced. I thought I just needed to be okay with being raw and unfiltered and just put the content out there. It felt like it was something I was supposed to overcome and that I was being dramatic for not wanting to work with what I had. The thing is, I don't put out work I'm not proud of. So I wasn't happy with what I produced, but I thought that was just me being hard on myself and that it was actually objectively fine. I don't want to produce just fine. I want to be proud of the content that I put out. If I don't think it's entertaining, why would anybody else? Last couple of years, a lot has been happening to me personally, and one of those things was learning how to talk about my feelings, which is really hard for me. Without going into too much detail, I've had a lot of like really mean people in my life, and I never really felt safe sharing my opinion, and it got to a point where I just didn't bother having an opinion. Like, I truly didn't have any opinions. I do have a point coming. So about 2 years ago, I met my husband. I was not in a good place. I felt like the world was against me and that nobody cared.
And then like a whole bunch of stuff was happening that involved other people, but I'm not going to talk about it here. But it's fine. We resolved it. And talked about it, but because of the actions of others, I spiraled, and because I didn't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with my feelings,
If you know my husband at all, you know that he's a fixer, and if there's a problem, he has to understand it fully. He doesn't sit well with ambiguity. At that point, I was nothing but ambiguity. So over the last 2 years, we've spent a lot of time healing and growing, and now I'm a lot more comfortable talking about my feelings and telling somebody when they've hurt me. But because I've let loose on my feelings, I've discovered something. I'm anxious. I want to say this is new, but I don't think it is. I think I've just been really good at suppressing it. And now that I'm allowed to have feelings, I'm fighting it every day. Is what makes my work better. But over the last 2 years, I really haven't created much because I was too anxious. And also, I didn't really have anything I wanted to film. And then I slowly stopped feeling like me. The other night, my husband and I went down a rabbit hole on our respective YouTube channels looking at our old videos. And we watched a vlog that I had made right around the time that we met. And it was really good. It was probably one of the best vlogs I ever made. So then I thought, why don't I just do that? This is the Robin I recognize. This is the Robin I wanted to be. So that's what I'm gonna do. The last 2 versions of this video were long-winded, depressing versions of why I think I'm good at what I do, but nobody knows me. I didn't want anybody to know me because I'm anxious, or because I was, well, I still am, but I also had a negative view of posting, unless it was my work or of other people, but even then, I didn't really want to draw attention to myself. Why? I thought it made me a narcissist. The thing is, that's a really bad attitude to have when you own a small business in a modern society where digital marketing and sales are driven by influencer culture. So I'm gonna try to be better at putting out content so that you can get to know me better. Starting now. I was a big musical theater nerd in high school. I was in every production that I could be in. And when I was thinking about post-secondary school, I thought I might like to do a musical theater degree. And honestly, I still would if I could. But I didn't feel it was practical considering how expensive university is. And so I decided to start looking into film schools. And after a lot of pro-con lists and budgeting and charts, I finally decided on this little school in Fredericton, New Brunswick that offered an indie digital filmmaking course. It feels like yesterday I graduated, when it actually was 7 years ago. After I graduated, I started a business and began the grueling task of developing a style. Something I didn't expect was how much I was gonna like lifestyle, documentary filmmaking, and business and digital marketing. And what's funny is that I'm really, really good at it for other people, but for me, I've not made any effort for myself. Up until now, at least. This is my vlogging channel where you can watch me. And on this channel, this is where I'm gonna put all of my work. And then on my various social media accounts, I will be putting abbreviated work from both on them. You're welcome. I can't promise a consistent schedule, but I can promise I will be making more content than I have been. I'm anxious. I'm anxious. I'm like super anxious. I'm anxious. It's so weird saying your own name. Does anybody else get that? Like, you think, like, I finally decided on a little school in Fredericton, New Brunswick that offered an intensive 18-month digital indie filmmaking course. And now it's a parking lot. This is going to be a nightmare to edit. Because I keep doing this. I keep, like, stopping and making noises. I believed if I talked about myself too much, I would be a narcissist. So, logically, I should just not talk about myself at all. I'm overthinking everything.